I'm tired of seeing the bickering back and forth between the two parties. Sadiq Khan blames Boris Johnson. Boris Johnson takes a COVID briefing to take a swipe at Sadiq Khan. They play politics. Meanwhile, Londoners suffer. We suffer when our children are being stabbed to death on the streets. We suffer when we have to pay ridiculous charges for our transport that kill our livelihood. We suffer when we can't afford to live in this city. And we suffer when our economy is being locked down and we have no money left. That's because of politics. And I'm tired of it, and I want to clean it all out. So not only do we talk the talk, but we walk the walk. We're here to listen and to serve. And we've been listening for 8 months, and this is our proof that we've listened to you, and now we put it into detailed policies that's going to change the world. We're going to rebuild London's economy. I'm going to abolish the congestion charge for the rest of the year. I'm going to zero out business rates so entrepreneurs have a fighting chance to stay in business. And we're going to create the great celebration. 31 days of street fairs during the day, music festivals at night. Again, 20 million plus people safely into central London. I have been campaigning for 6 months. It's hard to believe, it's even stranger to say. October is when I announced my campaign. It's now in April. We have been out here in the streets, going head to head with police officers, talking about policy ideas, pointing out mistakes the mayor made, and coming up with incredible things like this manifesto. We are obviously committed to becoming the next mayor of London and committed to taking London in a new direction. I'm doing this because I care about the city, and I see a chance, a little window where we could potentially change and make history.
1, 2, 3, listen.
Welcome to the Brian for Mayor Digital Battle Bus. Welcome to Battle Bus Live. I am Brian Rose, and we are live on the Brian for Mayor Digital Battle Bus today, touring the borough of Enfield. Super excited to get back to Enfield, my third time there. I've now been over 4,000 miles on this bus just in the city of London. I've been to every single one of the 32 boroughs twice, and we're going to keep going all the way till May 6th until I speak to every single person in London and convince them that we have the right direction for the future. This is a special episode today, and I can't wait to talk about our big announcement, which I'm just going to drop on you right now, and it's located right here in my jacket pocket, and there it is. Boom. Our manifesto for the future. This is an incredible document. It's an incredible piece of work. It is a detailed analysis on all of London's problems, and I've spent the past 9 months between me and my team and a lot of other individuals really basically getting a detailed analysis of all the problems of London and coming up with real solutions. And this thing is packed with all sorts of information, statistics, cost analysis, you name it, it's in here. And we go through London's major problems and major struggles. If you want to take a look at this thing right now, while you're watching this, you can go to brianformayor.london/manifesto, and it outlines the big things I've been talking about for the past 6 months. You heard me right. We have been campaigning to be the next mayor of London for 6 months. You see a lot of these fair weather friends coming in at the last minute that want to be your mayor. We have been out there in the trenches, in the boroughs of London, listening to you for 6 months, and that's why we're able to create something with such detail, and we couldn't be more proud of this over at Brian for Mayor headquarters. In this, I talk in detail about how I'm going to rebuild London's economy. I talk in detail about how I'm going to put 10,000 new police officers on the street. I talk in detail about how I'm going to abolish the congestion charge until 2022. And finally, I speak about building 50,000 new homes by Christmas of this year. You heard me correctly. Christmas of this year, that's in 5 months. More homes than the mayor has built in 5 years by a factor of 4. I will have quadrupled his numbers. Yes, this is what happens when you have an independent voice, fresh ideas, and someone who really cares about this city, who wants to take London in a new direction. I want to talk about this document today. But first, I want to thank all the people that helped make me create this document, because behind the scenes, I've been having meetings, Zoom calls, detailed analysis and discussions with senior members of the House of Lords here in London, senior members of the Metropolitan Police, senior members of TfL, our Transport for London infrastructure, senior architects, doctors, scientists, entrepreneurs, economists who have all advised on this document. There's too many people to name and thank here, but this isn't just the product of me or my team. This is a group of Londoners that cares about our city. They care about the direction of our city, and they're tired of the politics stopping things from happening. And they said, Brian, we see you. We see your philosophy, your vision. We see how you really want to change London and how you care, and you don't want to get caught up in all of the politics. And we want to help you. We want to back you. And I've been so overwhelmed with the amount of support that I've gotten from senior level people to help create this manifesto. And again, we are going to print out thousands of copies of these and get these out to you. I am convinced that if every single Londoner had one of these in their hand right now, on May 6th, we would pull off a landslide victory, because this is the proof in the pudding. People can really see that we've done the time, we've done the hard tasks. I'm talking about everything in here, from my key policies all the way down to my green initiatives, to my freedom of speech initiatives, to my digital first plan for London to give free broadband to everybody, and those digital devices, especially to our children who oftentimes living in poverty can't even get online to study and go to their education facilities. So a lot of details in here. And again, I want to talk about this today. If you want to get your copy, go to brianformayor.london/manifesto. It's an incredible document. I've spoken with people that have been in politics for 20 years, and they said, Brian, this is the best manifesto I have ever seen. And when I first heard that, I thought, are you sure? I mean, this is my first time in politics. This is my first time doing a manifesto. They said, this is the best thing I've ever seen. It's readable. It shows thought. It's congruent, and it shows you actually care about London. You clearly spent months and months of time behind the scenes researching policies, and these clearly can change the game from London, whether it's the Great Celebration, to the digitization of the police, to the idea of modular housing, to the fact that I'm going to separate out the land from TfL and turn it into affordable housing. All of these things are in here, and I want to speak about those today. So thank you for joining us. As usual, a lot happening here at Brian for Mayor. We've got just a little over 3 weeks left until we're going to make history and create the greatest upset in British political history. And we're going to need your help on May 6th. I'm going to tell you everything that's been happening behind the scenes. Yesterday, I got to spend the afternoon with a very special man. And I want to just give a shout out to this incredible man here. This is John Kent. And John runs a Savile Row tailoring company called Kent, Haste, and Lackner. And he's been there making suits and menswear for, I think, 60 plus years. We're still trying to guess John's age. I think he's in his late 70s. Sorry, John, I don't want to call you out there, but my wife said he might be better looking than me, and it might be true. John's a gem of a man. He's a kid from the East End that made it and made his business in Savile Row by having some incredible clients on his list. He tells me stories about Bing Crosby, about Sean Connery, and he would always tell me stories about the late Prince Philip, His Royal Highness and the Duke of Edinburgh, who was a client of John's for 50 or 60 years. And John put actually a really beautiful memorial right in the front of that shop that you saw in that picture, and just to honor and send sympathies out to the royal family, as we do as well, to the passing of Prince Philip. And again, I got to know Prince Philip through John Kent because he told me so many stories about what an incredible man he was behind the scenes and how well he treated John behind the scenes. And they built up this incredible relationship over the years that I'm sure will be told at some point. But it was great to see John, and great also to talk to John, and also to lament the passing of this great man who's been of service for so long. When I watch the royal family, I see a family that their job is to serve. And it's such a challenging job to be out there all the time, to trying to serve the people of the world. And again, we're sending our deepest sympathies to the family and to everyone there. Again, really great to see John. And John was, as usual, an incredible conversationalist, had great stories about a lot of his former clients. And I was there to support John because during this lockdown period, John's had no traffic flow. And a lot of Savile Row tailors, their business is down by 80%. And again, this is nothing new. When I speak to taxi drivers, they say the same. When I speak to entrepreneurs and people in the hospitality and gym industry, their revenues are down 80, 90, 100%. And John says, Brian, he said, you've got to do something. This current mayor of London is driving our city into the ground. We've got to have a new voice. You have to win, Brian. And when I see someone like John, John represents the very fabric of this city. because he's not just a business, he's part of the culture, he's part of the legacy of London. John is one of the reasons that people travel to this city. So are the black taxis, so are the pubs, so are the royal family. It's all part of what we do here. And if we don't focus on this economy, we're going to lose everything. And it's just going to be chain stores and avenues that all look the same. And I'm very worried about that. And so John motivates me to push forward with a lot of these policies. And it was great seeing him, great getting some new suits. And we have some big surprises coming up with another suit that he's making for me that'll be coming out soon. Here's an update on the campaign. We are now firmly in second place and moving into first place. There was an article in the Express last week, and now we're clearly the only candidate who can beat Sadiq Khan on May 6th. He knows it. I know it, and now the voters of London know it too. And on May 6th, mark my words, we are going to show the world the greatest upset in British political history, because I know what's happening on the streets. When I speak to people on the streets and on my digital networks, they all know that our ideas trump those of the current mayor. They are disappointed with his performance, and we couldn't be more excited about going out on the campaign trail and meeting everyone here in London. A few things some of you all have noticed. I thought I'd call attention to them, but you probably see my face and our policies everywhere. This is one of our outdoor digital ads on the Cromwell Road. And again, right there in black and white, or in our case in white and blue, you see my policies. I'm not ashamed of these policies. Rebuild London's economy, 10,000 officers on the street, abolish the congestion charge until 2022, and 50,000 new affordable homes. I'm proud to put that out there. And again, we need people to know that we have the ideas. A lot of people come originally to our website because they've seen my face out there. They've seen these suits that I wear. And I'm okay if you come for the suit as long as you stay for the policies and, of course, show up on May 6th and vote. Let's take London in a new direction. And here's a quick video of what some of those incredible outdoor ads look like. And those are just some of our incredible outdoor ads. We were everywhere in 27 boroughs or 20-some boroughs all around London. And again, if you see any of those outdoor assets or our bus that I'm on right now, take a picture and hashtag Brian for Mayor. I want to send you free coffee cups, free t-shirts, which I'm going to talk about later, free pens, free notebooks. We really appreciate that support. And of course, on May 6th, we need you to vote as well. I am right now on the Brian for Mayor digital battle bus. This is what it looks like from the outside. It's a pretty impressive piece of machinery. It's actually not a bus. It's a mobile broadcasting studio where I can stream to you right now and to millions of people around the world. I can go to every borough in a COVID secure manner, and I can have real conversations about the challenges of every borough and every citizen. We're so proud of this. Like I said, we've logged over 4,000 miles, have been to every single borough twice. We're going back for the third time now, and the response has been absolutely incredible. I want to give a shout out right now to the Brian for Mayor Volunteer Army. This is just a few of them. We took this picture last week. This is the Brian for Mayor Volunteer Army, including that's young 7-year Jordan over there, who I just met this morning. He is out there pushing himself, getting uncomfortable, right? He's a young man. He's a little shy, and he's out there handing out leaflets because he believes in our message for the future. I had a conversation with him earlier, and he said, Brian, I'm going to run for mayor one day. I said, I love that, Jordan. I love that. And so I just want to give a big shout out to our volunteer army. If you want to help us, and actually we need your help, because I want to get a copy of one of these in every single one of the Londoners' hands. I need your help to help me deliver these. Please take some action right now. You've probably been watching me for weeks or months now and thought, well, I see what Brian's doing. It's kind of cool. I'm going to vote for him. Why not get more involved? Go to brianformayor.london/volunteers. Type in your name, address, email. We'll send you a quick message. Find out who you are, a little bit about you. We'll bring you right in to our private Facebook group. I do weekly video calls with our group. I just did a huge meet and greet with about 50 of them here when we announced our manifesto. They get to come on the bus. They get to tour with us. And of course, they're all invited to the big inauguration party we're having right after the election. Some big names are going to be there. I can't confirm or deny if Kanye's showing up or maybe Rage Against the Machine is going to drop by, but it's going to be a big party. Of course, volunteers get the first invites, but come be a part of this. Help me deliver these manifestos to every single door in London. It's an incredible document, something you'll be proud about, and something you can tell your children and grandchildren that you were a part of later in life. So thank you to the volunteers. Go to brianformayor.london/volunteers to be a part of it. And look, we've been all over the press recently. Every single day there's an article about us. The Indy 100 wrote an article with the title, "Could Brian Rose be the next mayor of London?" I dropped it on social. It actually blew up. It went viral. Everyone is feeling that this is the time. This is the time where an independent voice can finally cut through this two-party system that has a stranglehold on everything in London. That's why nothing improves. There's no innovation. That's why we're all frustrated with the knife crime, with the economy, with the housing, with the transport. They can feel that this is the chance we have, but we've got to take advantage of it in the next 3 weeks. And but people are really noticing. You can see I got a bunch of press here in front of me. And again, I'm still loving the Times article that actually literally says, "Who on earth does Brian Rose think he is?" It goes into details about my past, my struggles, my challenges, and also about why I'm so passionate to become your next mayor of London. And again, I just want to talk more about how we're going to change this city. And when I do, everyone seems to resonate with it. One more thing I want to say before we jump in is a lot of people have asked me about the polls. I got this question from the Indy 100. I got this question from a bunch of mainstream media publications recently. And I said, well, hold on a second with the polls. The polls are exactly this, a 20th century instrument trying to measure a 21st century phenomenon. I have real-time social media data. I'm talking to you right now live. I see odds makers, bookmakers, who put a lot of money on the line that are betting what's going to happen on May 6th, and they are all telling me that we are going to win on May 6th. When I go out in the streets, when I do my polls, we have a 98% chance of winning. Everyone on the streets comes up to me and says two things. Brian, we love your ideas and your policies, and we hate the current mayor of London. I hear it all the time. Sometimes it's in the opposite order. They can't wait to tell me how much they're angry and upset with the current mayor of London. They say, what has he done in 5 years? He's done nothing. What happens when people want to talk to him? He runs and hides. We see what he's doing. He's a master of public relations. He's a master of the photo op, but he doesn't stand and deliver. That's what I do. He runs and hides. And so it's time for change. If not, you're going to get 3 or 4 more years of this. And if you don't vote, then you are complicit in him becoming your mayor again for 3 or 4 more years. I can't imagine that scenario, which is why me and my team are working 24/7 to make sure we become the next mayor of London and creating incredible pieces of work like this manifesto, which I'm going to talk about more today. A couple more things before we jump into today's episode. As you probably heard, we have our own party. It's called the London Real Party. And again, we couldn't be more excited. If you want to know more about this, go to londonreal.party. That's our website. And you can find out more about what's going on. This is the party, finally, for Londoners. And here's a little swag that we've been sending out to our London Real Party members. You know, we're all in here as usual. Let's be honest, we got the best swag in the game. We know that. But London Real Party, again, finally a party for Londoners. That's never happened in history. And we thought it was about time that we created a party for the people of this beautiful city. Nearly 10 million people that struggle with their daily life because of one man in City Hall who can't get the job done. We want to change that. The London Real Party is a party that stands for determination. It stands for innovation, perseverance, fortitude, and that indomitable spirit that's synonymous with this great country and this great city. That's what I stand for. That's what the London Real Party stands for. And we can't wait to create this a major upset on May 6th. If you want to join the party, come to the website, londonreal.party. You'll get more information. You can also get more information on the Brian for Mayor site as well. And we're looking forward to doing that. A couple final things. You've got about 7 days left to register to vote. And again, if you are living in this city and you have a national insurance number, you can vote. Go to votefirst.london. There's literally a 5-minute process. There's a video there, and you can sign in with your borough. They'll send you a letter, and you'll be ready to register to vote. After you're registered, if you want to lock in your vote for Brian for Mayor right now, go to brianformayor.london/postal, and we will fill out the postal vote for you. We'll email you a copy of that, or we'll actually post it to you. All you have to do is sign it, put in your date of birth, and then send it into your council, or we'll even send you a stamped envelope or an addressed envelope that you can just pop in the post, and your vote for Brian is done. So now we need everybody to mobilize. Make sure you're registered to vote. I meet people on the streets that say, Brian, I don't vote. I don't believe in that. Okay, Do you believe in your city being ruined? Do you believe in your job being taken away from you? Do you believe in teenagers on the street being killed by knife crime? Well, then you better register to vote and do something about it. I'm giving you a clear, incredible alternative, but I need your help to make this happen. So May 6th, let's go out and force. Let's register and force. And again, share this with all your friends. Last thing, if you see any images of us, if you've got one of the leaflets or one of our manifestos, if you see our bus out there, share it on your social media platforms. Hashtag Brian for Mayor. We're going to send you swag. We're going to send you t-shirts. We're going to send you pens, notebooks, all the Brian for Mayor stuff because we really appreciate you. All right, now I want to hear from you. All these questions come right here to my iPad. So please, if you've never left me a question before, now is the time. If you've done it before, I want to hear for all my regulars out there. So these are the questions I need from you now. First of all, what borough do you live in that I might be going through today? Or what city do you live in? And what's your biggest challenge? What's the question you want to ask me when I visit you? Because I'm coming to see everybody. Next, are you excited for our brand new Manifesto of the Future? And do you plan to vote on May 6th? Again, you can download this at brianformayor.london/manifesto. It's an incredible document. We're super proud of it. And it's fun and easy to read. My 4-year-old Caden was reading it over the weekend. He was loving it. So again, it's fun, it's friendly, it's approachable. You can literally read it in a few minutes or get the grasp of it really quickly. So go check that out right now. Third, do you believe in the polls, or do you think they're an antiquated anachronism that's part of the two-party system designed to keep a stranglehold on business as usual? Or do you think it's time that we change all that with an independent voice and going in a new direction? Fourth, do you agree with my policies to rebuild our economy, put 10,000 police officers on the street, put 100 million pounds into community centers, and build 50,000 affordable homes? That's what I want to know from you. And finally, do you think we need new leadership, fresh ideas, and take London in a new direction? That's what I want to know from you. Please leave those questions. I'll be checking with them right now. Today, we're visiting Enfield. Like I said, we already been here twice. Big love for Enfield. It's the home of the Lee Valley Whitewater Center, an incredible 31 million pound whitewater slalom center. It was, of course, constructed to host the 2012 Olympic Games, which we absolutely crushed. One of the reasons why we're going to be holding the great celebration here in August, because London, well, let's be honest, great events are in our DNA. We're incredible at hosting them, and we're going to bring 20 million people safely into the city of London in August and have our best year economically on record. And again, we've shown in the past we've been able to do that with the Olympics, and Enfield was a big part of that. So we appreciate you having us today. And now I want to talk more about this manifesto for the future. So let's talk about this document. Again, on screen, you can see what the front cover of it looks like. This is 48 pages of detailed work. We've been on the campaign trail for 6 months, but we've been working on this for 8 to 9 months. Every single detail is in this policy. Everything I want to do when it comes to policing, when it comes to exactly how we're going to spend the infrastructure levy revenue, about how we're going to digitize the police, how we're going to modernize the police, how we're going to better train the police. And I've got a bunch of things in here that I want to talk about today that I've never shared before. But again, they're all here in this document. And as I said once before, this has been reviewed by people that have been looking at manifestos for 10, 20, 30 years. They say this is the best thing they've ever seen, and we couldn't be more proud. It's the result of 8 months of hard work. And again, I just want to say one more time, I appreciate all of the behind-the-scenes work from senior members of the House of Lords, from senior members of the Metropolitan Police, from senior members of the TfL. I want to say thank you to the economists out there, the doctors, the scientists, the Nobel Prize winning PhDs, the architects, the developers, the entrepreneurs, the taxi drivers, the firefighters, the nurses, and the teachers. They've all contributed to this document. But not just that, real Londoners on the streets, you are part of this document as well. Because I've had hundreds and hundreds and hundreds of conversations with real people on the streets, and they all tell me what's frustrating them. In Enfield, it was Adam who hated his LTNs and he wanted a solution. That's here in this policy. I spoke with Eliza down in Croydon at her Lives Not Knives charity, and she said, Brian, we need better trained police. That's in here as well. Everyone I speak to, I listen to them, and then I serve them. And all of that is in this manifesto. Literally hundreds, if not thousands of conversations are baked into this document, which is a blueprint for the future of London. It's how we save this city. It's all in here. And again, I couldn't be more proud of it. And I look forward to you reading it, downloading it, giving me your feedback. I'll get you a printed copy. But again, go to brianformayor.london/manifesto. You can read it right now. And it's so important. And I think it's a display that, not only do we talk the talk, but we walk the walk. We're here to listen and to serve. And we've been listening for 8 months, and this is our proof that we've listened to you, and now we put it into detailed policies that's going to change the world. And again, brief notes that are happening here. We're going to rebuild London's economy. I'm going to abolish the congestion charge for the rest of the year. I'm going to zero out business rates so entrepreneurs have a fighting chance to stay in business. And we're going to create the Great Celebration. One of the best fairs and celebrations known to mankind. 31 days of street fairs during the day, music festivals at night. Again, 20 million plus people safely into central London, showing the world the best of British and London cuisine, arts, culture, fashion, like John Kent brings to the table, music, technology, innovation, commerce. We're going to show it all off to the world, and it's going to be an incredible event to show the world that we are back. And London is leading the pack when it comes to recovery, when it comes to innovation, when it comes to rebuilding. So that's one of the first major parts of my manifesto. The second one is to make London safe. And that's 2 parts. The first is 10,000 new police officers on the street, which I'm going to pay for with something called an infrastructure levy, which is fully detailed in here. And it's a 3% charge we're going to make on major commercial developments within 500 meters of a tube station. That alone is going to raise billions of pounds. That's going to help us pay for our bankrupt transportation system and for our police. Again, everything is fully costed down to the pound, and that's what makes a difference about our manifesto. Next, though, we're not just going to get more police. We're going to better train the police. We're also going to digitize the police, which is going to save up to £1 billion over the next 10 years. And again, these are conversations I've had in detail with senior members of the Metropolitan Police, and they will back me up 100% on that. But it's not just about the policing. It's about investing in our communities. And that's where my plan, called Corporates for Communities, is going to inject £100 million per year into 250 community centers in each one of the 32 boroughs in London. That's coming from big corporate names like Amazon, like Uber, like Barclays, like HSBC. They're all going to inject that money into our communities, and that's going to give our teenagers new options of what they do between the hours of 3:30 p.m. and 8:30 p.m. That's after they get out of school and before mom and dad come home. We need to show them how to be entrepreneurs. We need to teach them health and well-being. We need to teach them cooking, mindfulness, all sorts of things that can give them new options, as opposed to get involved with gangs, which results in more crime and a horrible thing for this city, and it's unacceptable. So again, all of this is detailed in here. Next, I talk about abolishing the congestion charge, which I spoke about as well, rethinking LTNs completely. The LTNs are crushing our neighborhoods. Those need to be completely paused and rethought, and we need to run TfL like a business, not like a charity. TfL owns 5,700 acres of land. That's the size of the borough of Camden. I'm going to separate that out into a development corporation and build affordable homes on that land and commercial space and retail on that land, and that's going to help run TfL at a profit. Again, everything in here is in detail, including that infrastructure levy. And finally, I'm going to build 50,000 affordable homes by Christmas. I got the picture of the actual homes in Hackney Wick right here, where I've worked with a senior architect in London. This is what the homes look like on site in Hackney Wick. You're not going to get this from any other candidate out there. Even the current mayor can't come up with a drawing like this, and he's had 5 years. These are modular homes we can construct within weeks, and these will be up by Christmas. And I'm going to have plans like this all over London and every single one of the 32 boroughs. This is real action. I don't think anyone ever has seen a candidate that takes such serious action and has such a serious manifesto. And again, we are so proud of this document, and we can't wait to show it to the world. A couple final things in this document is my plan to make London digital first. That's free broadband for everyone, access to digital devices, especially for our children living in poverty, which is happening right here in London. I was in Lewisham last week. 37% of the children are in poverty, which means they're probably not going to have access to that piece of hardware or to the broadband, which means they're missing out on a basic human right, in my opinion. And so we're going to digitize London. Next, we're going to fight for freedom of speech, something I spent the entire year fighting for last year. I put my business on the line to stand up to big tech, to protect your right to free speech and your right for digital freedom of speech. I believe in human freedoms. I think you have the right to say what you want to say, and you have the right to listen to what someone else wants to say as well, as long as it doesn't incite violence or the overthrow of governments, or as long as it's not illegal. But if it's a point of view, you should be able to hear it. And also, I think in a democracy, you should have the right to know about your candidates, which is why, We were stopped by the police and banned from campaigning and fined because we were out there protecting democracy. I believe in human freedoms, and I'll fight for those as your next mayor of London. And finally, a lot of people ask me about my green approaches. My green approaches aren't like the current mayor. He puts out a press release. He wants to look green, and most of his policies end up being the opposite. For example, LTNs are supposed to be green initiatives, but they increase emissions, they increase the number of miles driven by our taxis, and they put businesses out of business. My green initiatives are baked throughout my entire policies. Digitizing the police is green. Building modular homes on TfL land is green. Working on my car recharging plans to be recharging taxis and buses while they move is all part of a green initiative to drop emissions in central London. And I've got long-term plans to do exactly that. So again, this is all detailed in our manifesto. This is a big day for the Brian for Mayor campaign. This is a big day for British politics. This is a big day for politics in general. You've never seen a candidate so transparent, someone who really has gone into detail and who embodies the very policies that they talk about, who can put it into black and white and show you a way we're going to make it happen. Again, download this document now. Go to brianformayor.london/manifesto. And now I want to hear from you. So let me go to you right now. By the way, answer these following questions. First of all, what borough do you live in? What city do you live in? What's the question you want to ask me? Next, are you excited to read our manifesto for the future? And who are you going to vote for on May 6th? Third, do you believe the polls are right, or do you think they're part of this two-party system that has a stranglehold on politics designed to shut out new voices and independent ideas? Do you agree with my basic policies? 10,000 new officers on the street, building the modular homes, abolishing the congestion charge, and putting 100 million pounds into communities? And finally, do you think it's time for new leadership, new ideas, and an independent voice to take London in a new direction? Go into the comments right now. I'm probably going to be swamped with comments, and I am. Amazing stuff right here. I got first one from Med Buckley, who I just saw on Old Street, one of our great volunteers, who says via Instagram, "Great morning with the manifesto launch. Thank you, Med." We just did this whole manifesto launch in Old Street right near Brian for Mayor headquarters with all of our volunteers. Again, an amazing group of people. It was great seeing Med. He's out there on the streets. You can be 7 years old up to 77. You can be volunteering for Brian for Mayor. And we really appreciate that. I got Edit My Snaps on Instagram that says, "What a bus. Have a great day. And what are you going to do for the live music industry that's been hit so hard?" Great question. We've been speaking to people in the theater industry, the entertainment industry, the music industry throughout the last few months and talking about solutions and innovative ways to get them back to business. But the great celebration is going to kickstart it when it comes to entertainment, music, and culture. Again, imagine having 20 million customers in the month of August. It's going to be a boom for everybody in your business and in that business, and we couldn't be more excited. Let me go into the website really quick. I got Stephen in Tower Hamlets. It says, "Hi, Brian. Like many Londoners, I become frustrated and depressed of what London has become, and I think many would agree that we need to get the current mayor out. The problem I have, we have many candidates fighting for the same cause, and I'm worried we might split the vote. How can you convince me to vote for you? And what will you do for Londoners on minimum wage to be able to afford to live in London without being priced out of the city they were born in? I'm really liking your passion and enthusiasm you have for this city," unquote. Great question, Stephen. And I mentioned this earlier, but I'll say it again. I have been campaigning for 6 months. It's hard to believe. It's even stranger to say. October is when I announced my campaign. It's now in April. And we have been out here in the streets going head to head with police officers, talking about policy ideas, pointing out mistakes the mayor made, and coming up with incredible things like this manifesto. We are obviously committed to becoming the next mayor of London and committed to taking London in a new direction. And again, here's 48 pages of detail to show you exactly how we're going to do it. And what we see now in the last few weeks is, a lot of people that just thought it might be cool to run for mayor, and they toss their hat out, but they don't really have any plans. They don't have a manifesto. They don't have any ideas. And you know what? It's a free country. They're welcome to do it. But I think you can clearly see that we are the only serious candidate here for the next mayor of London. And I think it's obvious in our policies, in our manifesto. And as far as your situation, I want to get London back to work. When everyone is back to work and producing in a way they can, everything rises. This whole country is strengthened when we get back to work. London was built on business. And when we get back to work, it's going to help everything from our mental health to our financial health to our kids' education to the future. and to our place as a global brand, as the greatest city in the world. All of that gets advanced. Next, though, I'm going to give you the affordable housing you need. I'm going to drop the crime so you feel safer on the streets. I'm going to run TfL at a profit so you won't have the current mayor of London trying to scalp you with his congestion charge 24 hours a day, 7 days a week. He's trying to charge you more for the ULEZ charge. And again, this really hurts you if you're earning minimum wage, because that could take a couple hours of work just to pay for the congestion charge every day. The mayor acts like a man of the people, but his taxes are regressive taxes. They actually punish lower income workers and families worse than anyone else. I don't believe in that. I want everyone to win, and my policies prove that we can do that. So thank you, Stephen. I appreciate that question. A few more coming through here. I got Sean David Tonkin on Instagram says, Brian for mayor, come on. I've got Renovatia on Instagram says, what you said on DMX was great. Thanks for sharing. Hey, when you're done cleaning up London, can you clean up Canada? Thank you, Renovati. And I did a bit of a tribute to DMX over the weekend. He passed last Friday, and he was a big influence on me as a hip-hop artist. He really spoke his truth. And I admire any man or woman who can speak their truth and who can get through life. It's a challenging process. And I think the more that we can have empathy for each other, the more we can listen and learn from each other, the further we can go in this life. And I've seen a lot of people struggling with their mental health during lockdown in the past 6 months here in London. And I feel for them. And I have a plan to help solve that. And I know he was struggling with mental health, and we all are, let's be honest. But again, getting London back to work, getting our gyms reopened again, showing promise for the future for our children, and showing the world that London is back. That's going to do amazing things for our mental health, and I look forward to doing that as well. I've got Edit My Snaps on Instagram saying, what a bus. Have a great day. Oh, I've already answered your question. I hit that again. VV Bob 007 on Instagram saying, the hero is here. Thank you. I appreciate you. Joanne Moore says via Instagram, London needs Brian. The world needs change, and London is a great place to start. Thank you so much. This is the greatest city. Let's make it. Let's start acting like it. That's what I want to say. I got Antonius Primal on Instagram saying, Brian for president. Let's go. All right. Let's do mayor first. I got 9swim9 on Instagram says, we will vote for you. Thank you very much. I got Bruno Arazomina on YouTube says, go Brian, go get him. Support from Mexican people in Mexico. You are a great guy. Thank you, Bruno. And a lot of people are surprised to know that we have people all around the world supporting me to become the next mayor of London, because they see that if we can change London, that the rest of the world can move forward, that can move past this two-party system, that can move towards independent ideas and innovation. So, Bruno, we appreciate you, and thank you for the support for all the people we have from around the globe. I got Yasmeister on Instagram says, we need more love and peace here in London. Nothing will change if Brian doesn't win. And I'm a big fan of what you said. I'm tired of seeing the bickering back and forth between the two parties. Sadiq Khan blames Boris Johnson. Boris Johnson takes a COVID briefing to take a swipe at Sadiq Khan. They play politics. Meanwhile, Londoners suffer. We suffer when our children are being stabbed to death on the streets. We suffer when we have to pay ridiculous charges for our transport that kill our livelihood. We suffer when we can't afford to live in this city. And we suffer when our economy is being locked down and we have no money left. That's because of politics. And I'm tired of it, and I want to clean it all out. So let's make that happen on May 6th. Couple more here. Deanna Dello on Instagram says, yes, Brian, we can't wait for you to win. You're doing an amazing job. We need people like you who are moving the needle forward. Thank you. I've got Andrew Glenn Johnson on Instagram says, I hope you get in. We need good people. I got 5150 Saints on Instagram says, love the suit. Thank you very much. John Kent is the man. Again, I'm supporting British small businesses. Go to see John Kent. He makes the best suits of the business. He is a true craftsman. And if they're good enough for the royal family, they're good enough for me. And John Kent, I appreciate you. He is a great man, a great hardworking Londoner. He brings his craft to the culture of this city, and that's why we're going to be the greatest city on the world once we get all of this straightened out. I got Love UK on Instagram says, please win and remove Khan. That is our plan. With your help on May 6th, we will win, remove Khan. It's going to be the greatest day and one of the greatest upsets in political history, and we can't wait to do it. So now I want to get back. I'll come back to questions in just a second, but I want to talk about something really important in this manifesto, and it's one of the things we're really proud of. And what I did with this manifesto is I decided to take a holistic view on crime and policing. And I wanted to look about the whole picture, because it's not just as simple as putting 10,000 new officers on the street. That's important. You also need to better train these officers. That's important too. You want to digitize the police, because we can save 1/3 of the frontline officers' time by digitizing. But it also means going further. And that's creating something called a Victims' Bill of Rights. And I put this up on the screen right now, and you can read about the Victims' Bill of Rights. Finally, it's a way where victims are treated fairly and with dignity. And the Bill of Rights addresses 4 key issues: information, protection, participation, and restitution. And the problem is that existing victims' rights legislation, it doesn't address these issues adequately. And I want to work with key people here in London and in the police and making sure we put the victims' rights first. Now, this might be the first time you're hearing of something called the Victim Bill of Rights, so let me break it down to you exactly what this means. Because when a crime is committed against you, a lot of times there's no protocol. There's no order of events. And a lot of times there's no resolution with what happened. And I think that's unacceptable for a variety of reasons. And I want to walk with you this Victims' Bill of Rights and what you actually get. So first of all, information. Every victim has the right to information about the criminal justice system and the role of victims in it, and about the services and programs available to them as a victim, including restorative justice programs. Next, every victim has the right to information about the status and outcome of the investigation into their offense. So many times, victims don't know what's going on. Third, every victim has the right to information relating to the offender's release and the timing and conditions of that release. This is the first step, information. But there's more. The second part is protection. Every victim has the right to have their security considered by the appropriate authorities in the criminal justice system. Next, every victim has the right to have reasonable and necessary measures taken by the appropriate authorities to protect the victim from intimidation and retaliation. Very important here that we codify this. Third, every victim has the right to have their privacy considered by the appropriate authorities in the criminal justice system. And finally, every victim has the right to request that their identity be protected if they are compliant to the offense or acting as a witness. So again, protection is a very crucial part, and that's part 2 of the Victim Bill of Rights. Next comes participation. Every victim has the right to convey their views about decisions to be made by appropriate authorities in the criminal justice system that affect the victim's rights. And the next part of that is that every victim has the right to present a victim impact statement to the appropriate authorities in the criminal justice system and to have it considered. This is an important part of this process, participation. And the final part is this: restitution. Every victim has the right to have the court consider making a restitution order against the offender. These 4 parts comprise our Victims' Bill of Rights. And if you've ever been a victim of a crime or a victim, you all also can probably think and remember maybe one of these things was missing, maybe 2 of these things was missing, maybe all of them were missing. And it always probably left something inside of you that felt unresolved. Maybe you felt you were treated unfairly, that someone didn't respect what had actually happened to you. The Victims' Bill of Rights will ensure that we have a process that shows this restitution, this completion of any crime happening against any citizen in London. And I just want to say, I've spoken with senior members of the Metropolitan Police that want this stated and this instituted. So this isn't something that's trying to be put on the police. This is something that they have been calling for many, many years. It's just never happened because the politicians haven't been involved and haven't empowered them to put this into place. Again, as your next mayor of London, I'm going to put in place the Victims' Bill of Rights and ensure information, protection, participation, and restitution to every single victim. This will change the game of our mental health. It'll make it clear what happens, and it will also deter crime. If a criminal has to look the victim in the eye and listen to how that changed their lives, I think it's one of the most effective ways we can use to lower crime in this city. This is powerful, powerful innovation, and it's something that I want to implement as your next mayor of London on May 6th. I want to hear from you now. So again, going back to the questions, tell me what borough are you in or what city are you in? What's the question you want to ask me? What's your single biggest challenge right now? Next, are you excited for our manifesto of the future? Have you already watched it or downloaded it at brianformayor.london/manifesto? And who do you plan to vote for on May 6th? Third, do you believe in the polls? Or do you believe they are a 20th century instrument trying to track a 21st century phenomenon? Do you think we will upset Sadiq Khan on May 6th? Let me know your thoughts here. Finally, do you agree with my policies? They're simple. I want to rebuild London's economy. I want to put 10,000 new officers on the street. I want to build 50,000 new affordable homes. I want to abolish the congestion charge until 2022. And lastly, is it time for fresh ideas, an independent voice, and to take London in a new direction? Is it time to shake up this system and to find out how we can actually get London back on track? Or do we want 3 more years or 10 more years of 20 more years of business as usual? Because that's what seems to happen down at City Hall, and they're all complicit. They're all on that city hall assembly together. They all sign off on each other's failures. You pay their salary every single month, and they continue the show over and over again. And let's be honest, it is a show that they put on. They're not actually doing their job. And trust me on this one, if Sadiq Khan or if the conservative candidate lost their job in politics, they couldn't get a job in the private sector because they have no skill set there. They're very good at politics. They're not good at getting things done. Let's change this on May 6th, and I want to hear from you now. So going to the questions. By the way, I really appreciate all these questions. If you've never asked me a question before, now is the time to do it. Share this link right now to your social media channels. Share it to your WhatsApp groups. Share it on your Facebook, on your Instagram, and say, hey, this guy, Brian, you know, he might wear some interesting suits, but I think he's got some great ideas that you might want to look at. So share that with your friends. And again, wow, a bunch of great comments coming in here. Pedro on Instagram says, vote London Real for mayor. I guess he's talking about a London Real party. I appreciate you. John Rafferty on YouTube says, Brian for mayor of London. Thank you very much. Tommy, a 1650 on Instagram says, are you going to remove the roadblocks? Yes, you're talking about the LTNs. We're going to suspend those LTNs when I'm elected mayor, and we're going to rethink these LTNs. And guess what we're going to do? We're going to consult with the stakeholders. Isn't that a crazy idea? We're going to go speak to the residents, the business owners, the taxi drivers, and we're going to find out what's the impact of doing a policy before we just blanketly write it into policy and change the lives of millions of Londoners. So yes, we're going to rethink and remove those LTNs, and I'm going to run TfL at a profit to where I don't have to tax you through these LTN charges to pay for my bankrupt transportation system. I got a question here coming from our website, and it's Jana that says, quote, where can we find out what time and exactly where in London Brian will be in certain areas? Great question. If you go to the brianformayor.london site and you click on the bus, you'll actually see our bus schedule that's already planned out all the way to May 6th. So you can go there, you can join us. We'll all have some speaking events as well. If you want, you can also join us as a volunteer, and then you can see me more often. You can come meet the bus more often. You can help leaflet with me out there. It's a really great time. Again, go to brianformayor.london/volunteer to be a part of that. A couple more questions coming through here. Decora Collective via Instagram says, will you reverse the congestion charge and road changes? So I'm zeroing out abolishing the congestion charge until 2022. I want to do it to kickstart the economy. I understand that there are emissions issues, but I have a solution for emissions issues, and I have incredible policies that are all very green in their initiatives. But I want to abolish the congestion charge, and I want to get London's roads working again. So again, I want taxis to be able to drive where they need to drive. I need to make sure that our roads move faster. I want to abolish on-street parking for parts of central London so things can be faster. And in the longer run, I want to make sure that it's only electric vehicles going into central London to drop our pollution numbers. I got Top Gun USA on Instagram says, Brian is doing this because he's a great person and will do great things. Somebody noticed. Thank you. He doesn't need power or fame. He just wants a good neighborhood for his kids. Thank you, Top Gun. I appreciate that. You know what? I was already big on YouTube before this started, and I had an incredible job, an incredible business, and I had this incredible channel called London Real, and it still is incredible. I'm doing this because I care about this city, and I see a chance. I see a sliver, a little window where we could potentially change and make history. We could break the two-party system and change London forever with these fresh ideas, and that's why I've gone all in on this. You know, I was speaking with John Kent, my tailor, yesterday, and he said, Brian, he's like, wow, look at what you've done. You're clearly spending all of your time on this. You're investing all of your time and money on this. I said, John, this is important to me. I said, I look at what you're doing. You're struggling here as a business person. This is the one thing I can do to change this city. And I am the only person who can beat Sadiq Khan on May 6th. So I have to go all in. And I really care. And I can't wait to make these changes. Like, we can do this. It's all here. We can literally build these houses and put these officers on the streets and change this economy. Just give me a chance is all I ask, and you won't regret it. We got Hilba, who simply says, you're amazing. Thank you so much. We got Sushi Kumar says, vote for Brian. Love from India. Thank you so much. This guy can change the world is what you said. I got Nathan Klev saying, Brian for mayor. Thank you. I've got Jari, Geo School via Instagram says, I hope you succeed, buddy. I got Tyler on Instagram says, you best end up as mayor. You are so real. Thank you so much. I got Courtney Stanfield says via Instagram, come on, bro. We need you over Khan. I couldn't have said it better, Courtney. I agree with you on that one. I got Amber online, says Brian is the real deal. Thank you so much. It's honestly my honor to serve you as a representative of the ideas that come from you as the people. I'm just a vehicle for these great ideas and this great energy to get implemented inside the mayor's office. Don't think of me as a mayor or a politician. I'm a vehicle for what's best for London and the great ideas that are coming from you on the streets. I'm just channeling them into great policy. A couple more here. I got Deborah. Oh no, I got Deborah. I got Cinia Fazeli. It says, I love the way you're thinking. Thank you. Abigail on Phillips YouTube says, time for new leadership. How can I volunteer? Abigail, go to brianformayor.london/volunteer. Send us your information, name, address, email, and boom, we'll get you in that loop. I got Tommy Barish that says, no one dresses sharper than Brian. Thank you very much. I appreciate that. Again, John Kent makes me look good. Janet Ivanova on Instagram says, I will vote for a Bulgarian son-in-law. Thank you so much. She's referring to my wife. She's from Bulgaria. We've been getting a lot of love by the Bulgarian press lately. That whole country is for me and for us. And we appreciate, all the communities here in London of people that come from other countries or whose parents were born in other countries. If you go back far enough, everyone in London had a parent, grandparent, great-grandparent that might have been born in another country, whether it was back in the day to the Romans, the Celtics, the Vikings, the Gauls, the Saxons. We all came to London to make it a better place. And I'm doing the same thing. I want to do my part for this city. And I appreciate all the communities out here that are over here working hard to make something better for their lives. We got Julia Shebo on Instagram, says, hi, Brian and team from Sheboygan, Wisconsin. I want to move to London once Brian is mayor. You're welcome. Everyone's welcome to come to London. Just bring your A game and get to work when you're here because we got to make this city great. Melton1 on Instagram says, stop road closures. I couldn't agree with you more. I take taxis home every single night, and I know how frustrating these road closures are for our transport system and our taxi drivers. I want to open it all up. London has to move if London wants to move forward. And right now you look at these streets, they're just jammed up, and it makes no sense. The current mayor seems to be doing everything in the opposite interest of the city, and I'm going to change all that on May 6th. We've got Ulysses Garcia on YouTube says, finally a politician who works for people and is transparent. I'm here answering these questions real time for you. And again, ask me hard questions. Quinn Murphy on Instagram says, it's when you win, not if you win. You have the support of real Londoners. Thank you, Quinn. I appreciate you, and we're feeling this energy. We are feeling a massive wave right now of support that's going to catapult us right to the first place. We are feeling this right now, and it couldn't happen at a more perfect time. We're 3 to 3.5 weeks out. This is launching us right into first. So again, go with this groundswell, share this video, comment, volunteer, and come in with us for the big win on May 6th. I got Boston Meat on Instagram, says, I hope you win. If you do, UK politics will change forever in a good way, and I'll make sure that happens. Again, it's all in the manifesto. So again, if you want to know the details, it's in here. This is exactly what I'm going to do starting May 7th as your next mayor of London. All right, last thing I want to talk about today, which is something I'm really proud in this manifesto. And it's something that we put in here because it affects Londoners every single day on the streets. And it's a creative and artistic way of solving a problem and also showing the solution to that problem. And as you know, I plan on investing in communities. And a lot of people talk about investing in communities. But again, I use my 30 years of business experience. I started off in the in the automotive industry when I was 19 years old. I worked for Ford Motor Company. I worked in the aerospace industry. I worked for Wall Street. I worked in technology startup companies. I've worked in digital media, and I've worked in digital education. I've worked in the city of London. I bring 30 years of business experience to this job. And when I saw communities, I thought, why can't we get corporate money into those communities? I can pick up the phone and call the CEOs of Amazon, Uber, HSBC, and Barclays. I'm not convinced the current mayor can make those phone calls. I've made phone calls to CEOs, and I can make them to them. And I say, guess what? This is your lucky day because you've got a chance to invest in your community, and it's going to be a win-win for you and your brand and a win-win for the community. I need 10 million pounds this year, and you're going to be a star because you're going to help me invest that in 250 community centers around London. It's time to give something back to the place where you make all your money. Let's make a deal. These CEOs are going to be more than happy to do this. And I'm going to inject 100 million pounds into our communities to give our young people new options and things to do in those afternoon hours where they can be seduced into gang violence and which sometimes leads to knife crime. I have plans to solve that. But again, investing in the communities is only one part of it. Actually thinking about what we're going to do about knife crime and the knives is the second part. And so that's why I want to announce today that in my first day of office as your next mayor of London, I am going to hold a knife amnesty. As in, you can turn in your knife to your local police station, to your local community center with no repercussions to you. And we're doing this for two reasons. The first reason is because we want to drop the number of knives on the street and we want to show our young people that there's a new way forward. But we're going to do something with these knives. We are going to create dragons. Dragons are going to be created with these knives. And let me show you, because this is a sculpture of a dragon made with the knives that will come from this amnesty. And this is actually a sculpture that was made in 2018 by the artist Alfie Bradley of the British Ironwork Center, who completed this ambitious project to build this 27-foot sculpture of an angel from knives surrendered during these weapons amnesties. And this angel has toured London, visiting towns and cities. And when you see this thing, it's so powerful. It'll make you want to stop a life of knife crime and violence. And I'm going to launch a similar scheme here in London. And we're going to use those knives coming for the amnesty to create dragons, because 13 dragons guard the city of London. And we're going to make 13 dragon statues out of these knives, some 20, 30 feet tall. These are going to be representations of the commitment Londoners have to stopping knife crime on the streets. They're going to be a representation of a new way of thinking, a way that we put a marker in the sand and we say, no more Sadiq Khan, no more of your knife crime, no more of your 5 years of excuses why our teenagers die on the streets. We are putting a mark in the sand on May 6th and saying no more of the old way of doing business. We're doing a knife amnesty. We're going to build these dragons, and we're going to move forward and give our young people, with funding from corporates, ways to build businesses, ways to invest in their health and well-being, ways to learn how to cook, how to create, how to become artists. This is what new ideas and a new mayor can give. This is real. These are children's lives on the line here. And we think making this dragon statue is going to be an incredible, poignant way to literally show the world that we have changed our ways, and to show these communities that there are other ways, and to reflect back to us what a tragedy that's happening here. You're probably tired, as am I, of every 2 or 3 days hearing about another knife crime in the city and the mayor doing nothing about it. Of course, he hasn't addressed this horrible record because there's nothing he can say about it. Violent crime has gone up every single year on his watch. It's up 28.5% in 5 years. It's unacceptable. Last year, not even this year, last year, he marked his 100th teenager murdered on the streets of this city. Enough is enough. And I have the resources and plans and detailed manifesto to make this a reality. I'll put the 10,000 officers on the streets, which one of my senior level people inside the Met Police says, Brian, I can reduce gang crime by 90% if you give me those officers. Those are words from his mouth. I'm going to better train those officers. I'm going to digitize those officers. Then I'm going to invest in the communities. Then with our knife amnesty, we're going to get them off the street and create our dragons. And we're going to show the world that that was the old days of London. We're going to look back on those as medieval memories of when the city was being run by someone who didn't care. We're going to put all that behind us. And so that's our plan. We're super excited. Again, this is all detailed here in my manifesto. You can see a picture of the dragon, and it's all detailed here in the crime piece and in the Metropolitan Police. And we couldn't be more excited to show you all of those details in our manifesto. So last time, I want to hear from you. And again, if you've ever asked me a question or never have, leave me a comment. If you're following these on any social platforms right now, take a copy of the link and share this. Share this right now to your Facebook, your Instagram, your YouTube, to your email list. Share it to your WhatsApp group or any email group or text group you have. It would really mean a lot to us. And now answer me your question. Tell me, what borough do you live in, or what city do you live in? What's the challenge you face right now? What question would you like to ask me? Next, tell me, are you excited for this document, our manifesto for the future? Go read it right now, brianformayor.london/manifesto. Do you want to help me give out thousands of these to the citizens of London? If you do, go to brianformayor.london/volunteer right now and help us. And who do you plan to vote for on May 6th? Answer that question. Next, do you believe the polls are correct, or do you think that actually the social channels are correct? Do you think the odds makers are correct? Do you think that we are about to pull off the greatest upset in British political history, that we're going to abolish the two-party system for the time being and come up with new ideas? Next, do you agree with my key policies? Rebuild the economy, put 10,000 officers on the streets, abolish the congestion charge, and build 50,000 new homes. And finally, Do you think it's time for new leadership, fresh ideas, and to take London in a new direction? Last chance for comments right now. Please put them in. And again, if you're out there, share this video. Give me a comment here. Tell your friends and family about us. Volunteer for us. Share our posts on your social platform. It all makes a massive, massive difference. And again, pages and pages of comments here. I really appreciate everyone. I don't have time to read them all out, but I'm going to try. I've got Pedro on IG who says, vote London Real for mayor. Hold on, I'm just coming back here. I got True Staff on YouTube that says, I support Brian Rose, right man for the job to be our new mayor, building a new, better London in all aspects. Thank you, True Staff. I appreciate you. I got Linda Firth on YouTube that says, Brian, do you ever switch off your brain and relax? You know, Linda, it's a great question. You know, we've been doing this for 6 months. The truth is, this energizes me. You know, when I see solutions for this city that I love, this city that's given me so much back. You know, I spent 21 years in this city. It's given me everything. It's given me my mental health, my livelihood, my happiness. So I'm here to make all these things happen. And this manifesto is one of the proudest things that I've ever been a part of creating. My team is incredible behind the scenes. The experts that have helped us create this manifesto. I mean, this is a document I will be proud of for the rest of my life. This is really a blueprint to solve the problems of London. And so this energizes me, to be honest. I could do this for decades. If it really meant changing the city I love and doing something great for Londoners, yeah, I can do this for another couple years. So, but thank you for the question. I really appreciate it, and I appreciate you noticing too. I got Kingsley on YouTube saying the mayor candidate who can help make London real, Mr. Brian Rose. Let's go. Thank you, Kingsley. I saw what you did there. Very good. Intelligent Human on YouTube says time for a change. Far-right Tories and far-left Labour system is dead and just divides us. Both parties are incompetent and useless. Let's finally get stuff done in this country, unquote. Intelligent Human, you said it right. You know, that's exactly what we have. We have people on both sides of these parties and systems that have the wrong ideas. They're out of touch with Londoners. They don't have real solutions. They're not communicating digitally with the people. They're not out in the streets talking with people. I was out in the streets today for an hour talking with people. The current mayor of London, I have heard from inside Labour Party headquarters that he is no longer allowed out in public until May 6th. Can you imagine that? The current mayor is not allowed to go out in public, or he could jeopardize his chances in this election. Can you imagine? We have a mayor on one side who runs and hides when members of the public try to ask him questions about his low traffic neighborhoods. This happened about a month ago out in Enfield. And then you've got someone like me who wants to go out in the public and engage with you. I want you to ask me hard questions. I am here to stand and deliver. I'm not here to run and hide. And by the way, Mr. Mayor, how's that debate coming? Back in January, I challenged you to a debate. It's 3 months later now. I see you're happy to go on a debate with the BBC with the Conservative candidate and have the same argument you have with him at the Assembly every month. You look like an old bickering couple there on the BBC. Why not debate me? I am the one that is challenging your track record. I am the one with the real facts and figures on how you've done. I'm the one with the manifesto that, quite frankly, does circles around the one that you released recently. Why not debate me and let the voters of London decide? And if you want to ask that same question, go to his social platforms right now, Mayor of London, Sadiq, whatever, and say, when will you debate Brian Rose? And tag me. Hashtag Brian for Mayor. Put that on his social feeds. Ask him. Maybe he'll have an answer. And by the way, I've said this before and I'll say it again. I will debate you anytime, anyhow, anywhere. I'll do it right now on my bus. You can send me a Zoom link. We'll do it there. We can do it at BBC or anywhere you want. But let's do that and give the people what they want. A couple more questions here, and I'm gonna wrap this up. I got Liz Lorraine on Instagram says, yes, San Diego native, backing you here, save London. Thanks so much, Liz. And I was born in San Diego, and now I am a Londoner. I've been here for 21 years. I've been a citizen since 2007. My kids were born here, and I plan on being buried in this great city, and I want to contribute to this city the same way the Romans did and the Vikings and the Saxons. I want to give something back to this city. And so a big shout out to my hometown of San Diego, but I'm not coming back. I'm staying here because we got work to do here. And I love being a Londoner, and I love this city, and I can't wait to take it to the next level. I got Esteban Rodriguez. I got that accent going on YouTube. Says, only a leader who fights, stands, and speaks the truth can represent the people. That's Brian Rose. Thank you, Esteban. It means so much that you say that. I appreciate you noticing. Trust me. I got Taylor surveying on YouTube and saying, can you do an election victory breakdance? Yes, Taylor. I will do windmills out in front of City Hall when I win this race. All right, I just said that, and now I will deliver. All right, there you go. Abigail Phillips on YouTube says, would love to see you on a debate with Sadiq Khan. You took the words right out of my mouth, Abigail. Go ask him. That's all I can tell you. Or tell the BBC. Yeah, go to their social channels or their Twitter and say, when will you have Sadiq Khan debate Brian Rose? That's the only debate we want to see. The other candidates are literally not serious about what they're doing. Ask them. I'll be there. Talisman Electric on Instagram says, hope you're the mayor. Thank you. DJ Virgin London says via Instagram, dear Brian, what are you doing for culture? The great celebration. 31 days of street festivals, music fairs, celebrating the best of British theater, British fashion, British music. Everything Britain will be celebrated. The whole world will see us. 20 million people to kickstart that industry here in London. That's the solution, and I can't wait for that. It's going to be a fun August, and London likes a party, and Londoners are good at partying, and we do the best events in the world. I was here for the Olympics in 2012. We crushed it, and this is going to be even better. A couple final ones here. Official Mike Weiss says, finally someone real. And you can love me or hate me, but I am real, and I will give it to you straight always, and I'll give it to you digitally transparent. So thank you for that. I've got Samuel Andrade on Instagram saying, Prime Minister Brian. Okay, I mean, Boris is already nervous with some of the things I've been saying about him, so don't make him more nervous. All right, let's be mayor first, and we'll worry about that next. We got Joshman Bossman on YouTube says, Brian, please cancel culture. And Joshman, look, I think a lot of people get on social media right now, and I see a lot of people fighting on social media, but when I get out on the streets, I see a lot of Londoners who really care about making their city better, and they care about each other. I want to harness that energy of collaboration, of community, and I want to take this city in the next direction. I'm tired of the Twitter wars. I'm tired of people objecting about things that don't make sense because they care about their families, they care about their economies, they care about crime and transport and housing. So I want to stop all of these squabbles, and I want to take London forward. But the problem with the two-party system is they feed off that squabble. And when you fuel it and they go back and forth, they are laughing all the way to the bank because you're paying their salary every day while they put on a show for you. And that's what it is. It's a show that they put on for you and give you the illusion of choice every 4 years. Well, I think we're smarter than that. People are smarter than our politicians think we are. And that's why I think our campaign is having such resonance, an independent voice, fresh ideas, new direction. And I can't wait to do it. I'm getting fired up as we say it right now. A couple more here. We've got Linda on YouTube says, Brian, is there anything you can't do? Trust me, Linda, my wife will tell you there's a lot of things I can't do. But look, what I try to do is I try to focus on things I'm not good at. I've always found that focusing on your weaknesses and trying to improve those is a way to get better. The truth is, I'm not the best boxer in the world, as some of you have noted on Twitter. I'm not the best breakdancer in the world. I'm actually not even the best broadcaster in the world, but I try every day to get better and better and better at my weaknesses. And that's been the story of my life and the story of my success and the story of my happiness. So I encourage everybody to just work on your weaknesses. And that's the way we're going to get better as a city. That's the way you're going to improve as a person. And that's what I try to do every single day. So yeah, there's plenty I'm not good at. I'm always trying to get better every single day. Even these broadcasts, we try to get better every single time. And as your next mayor of London, every day I'm going to try to get better. I'm going to try to listen more, serve better, be more transparent. And I can't wait to have that opportunity and that honor. A couple more final questions. Joanne Moore on Instagram says, I love the dragon idea. Thank you, Joanne. I thought you loved that idea. My team has been working really hard on that. Imagine these dragons. I mean, they're going to be very powerful emotional structures. To see a dragon made out of knives that used to be used for fear and intimidation now represented something beautiful, that human beings have moved on to another level where we don't feel the need to do violence against each other, that we have found new solutions for our teenagers in our communities so they can build themselves up and build their businesses up and build their lives up and contribute to humanity. That's what these statues are going to represent. These dragons are going to be our saviors. And I can't wait to show these sculptures off. And it's also a reflection right back to us about what we're doing desperately wrong with ourselves. Knives are never the solution. Violence is never the solution, but love is the solution, and investing back into our children and our communities, that's the solution too. And so I'm so excited for these dragon statues, and I can't wait to show off that first one after we do our knife amnesty, my first day in office, and we start building these incredible 13 dragon structures that we're going to show off to London and the world. And again, it's a place marker to show that we've moved on, we've moved forward, we've moved on from this tyranny of knife crime. And I can't wait to be a part of that and bring that to you as your next mayor of London. A couple more comments here. Colin Jones on Instagram says, Brian, you have to win. Change must happen. You are action, not just talk. Look forward to celebrating on the 6th of May. The country needs you as Prime Minister down the road. Colin, thank you so much. I appreciate you. You know, if people spend enough time with us, if people read our manifesto, if people really start listening, they all become fans of our campaign. And that's, I think, because we really care. We speak the truth. We've got the best ideas in the business, and we want to do this for the right reasons. I just want to do the best thing for London. I don't even want the credit. Someone else can take credit, but let's just do the right things for London and show Londoners that it's possible. That way we will never accept a poor job ever done again by our politicians. We will demand excellence from our leaders from here going forward, and I can't wait to set that high watermark to where all politicians will have to perform to that in the future. If that can be my legacy, great. But again, I just want to make sure we put these policies forward. And again, they're all detailed out here. A couple more, and I really appreciate all these comments. I got Jordy Gareth on IG says, Brian Rose is a genius. I don't know about that, but I've got geniuses working with me and for me. And together we become great. So thank you so much. And Vanitsi on Instagram says, you're looking like a world leader right now. All right, I feel like one as well. And so I think on that note, I just want to say, thank you to everybody. Thank you to everyone who's been a part of the Brian for Mayor campaign over the past 6 months. We are just getting warmed up. We've got 23 days left. We're going to take this all the way to May 6th, all the way to City Hall. But I need your help right now because I can't do this alone. I need you to share this video. I need you to comment on this video, to like this video. I need you to hashtag Brian for Mayor. Share this video on your social platforms. Tell your friends about me. Post this on your social platforms. Sure, some people might say, well, what's this? What are you talking about? That's how we start change individually, one person at a time. Come join me. Read my manifesto. Come see it right now. Look at the details. Share it with someone. Come volunteer for me. brianformayor.london/volunteer. Register to vote right now. Go to votefirst.london. Make it happen. Postal vote. Lock it in for me. Be a part of this. This is history. You literally have 23 days left to be a part of history. This Brian for Mayor campaign is an amazing vibration. There's some amazing people around in the background. Our volunteers are the best people, the best energy, the best in the business. We feel so good about what we produced here. And today has got to be one of my greatest days on this planet to produce this manifesto for all of your review. Again, I'm just so proud of this document. Honestly, if this was the document that I had to be judged on for my whole life, I think I might be satisfied with that, because this is just, for me, it's just incredible. It's incredible ideas that are created for the right reasons. You know, this document is what can take London to the next level. And a lot of cities could probably learn from this same document to take their cities to the next level. So we called it that. It's our manifesto for the future. Again, go check this out, download it, be a part of Brian for Mayor. And on May 6th, be a part of us making British political history. We're super excited. Get involved, share the message. Until then, I will be out there every single day campaigning. Look for me in the media, follow me on social campaigns, get out there, be a part of it, come to the website, sign up, donate, volunteer, everything. And I will see you next time on Battle Bus Live. Thank you so much. Take care.
My name is Brian Rose, and I plan to be your next mayor of London. I want to lead this incredible city in a new direction by rebuilding our broken economy, reducing the frightening levels of crime, building affordable housing, and fixing our broken transportation system. I love London. I love the people, the history, the spirit, the culture, the diversity. It embodies everything I hold dear in my heart. I believe it truly is the greatest city in the world. I have lived here for over 20 years. I became a British citizen in 2007. My 2 young boys were born here, and I plan on being buried in this great city. For the past 10 years, I've been the founder and host of London Real, my broadcasting and education platform with over 5 million subscribers and 500 million views. I have now decided to stand for Mayor of London because of one fundamental reason. I can no longer sit idly by and watch our current crop of politicians drive this incredible city into the ground. The current mayor has decimated our economy and failed to deliver on crime, housing, and transport. Now is the time for an independent voice and fresh ideas to lead London in a new direction. First, I will kickstart London's economy using my 30 years of industry experience to empower businesses to rebuild rapidly and safely. My proposed business rates and congestion charge holiday until the end of 2021 will maximize footfall in the city and help our economy rebound. Second, I will lower crime by investing in more police, better trained police, and the digitization of the police. This, combined with £100 million in corporate funding for 250 community centres across London, will give our young people the opportunities and support they need. Third, I will build 50,000 new affordable homes by Christmas 2021, utilizing land owned by TfL and modular building technology to quickly and efficiently deliver world-class affordable homes. Fourth, I will fix our bankrupt transportation system by properly developing TfL's vast land holdings and introduce an infrastructure levy to capture the billions of pounds of value created by the network. I would then rethink, remove, and reduce low-traffic neighborhoods and congestion charges. These issues are crucial to all Londoners, and every borough faces its unique challenges. Which is why I have traveled over 3,000 miles touring every single one of the 32 boroughs of London on my digital battle bus, while video live streaming my ideas directly to our citizens and listening to your detailed feedback. I have been overwhelmed by the incredible amount of support from real Londoners who love their city and simply want a better future for their friends, families, and communities. On my tour, I have learned three things. Londoners want change. Londoners want new ideas. Londoners want real leadership. Our great city now faces a critical fork in the road. On May 6th, your vote will decide what happens next in this most crucial time of our century. You can choose to have 3 more years of the same excuses, or you can choose to take London in a new direction with fresh ideas and an independent voice. We have the most incredible city in the world, and I promise to work tirelessly to make London a world-class city once again. I am confident that together we will accomplish our mission. On May 6th, vote for Brian Rose. A vote for change and a vote for the future.